open back up your folder, which you so willingly and compliantly folded back for me, and look at the other side. You can flip it right over so you see the other side. And on that side, there's a folded sheet, which if you pull it out, it'll be 8.5 by 14. It's a long sheet. Pull that one out if you would. It's colorful. It says the word draft across the front of it. If you don't have it, let me know. I have lots of extras. It looks like this. Soon enough, it will not say draft. I just have to get the pictures confirmed, and then I can get that word draft off. This is a guide for you in purchasing new. So your last question was about what do you do about older stuff? This is about purchasing newer stuff. And I put this together because I got tired of reading a lot of print, and I wanted to have a lot of answers in one place. I like pictures, and I like it easy. So on the left column, it's what you might be buying. And on the right column, it's what to look for on the label to help you know how to buy the safest of that thing. So for example, the first row is arts and craft supplies for young children. If that's what you want to buy, then as you read across, you're looking for this round circle with the letters AP in the middle. If the second line says toys, teethers, rattles, bottles, mostly plastic, if that's what you want to buy, then as you read across, you're looking for certain symbols on the labels. The first one is a C and an E, which, have you seen that before? Not on toy? Yeah. It's on radios and cell phones, and it's on gizmos and gadgets, everything. It's the symbol from the European Union. It's not just for toys. The European Union has standards. Who said different countries have different, safety standards? So the European Union has higher, stricter safety standards, at least in the toys area, than the US does. And so I put down the CE as a guide to look for, because if I didn't care, why not buy one that has gone through a stricter safety oversight, and this symbol will tell me that. The red lion comes from Britain, and they match their safety standards to the European Union. So either one of those, you're getting the same level, and both are stricter than the US. And the third one, which I see very infrequently, I see the first two a lot. The third one is an oval, and in the oval is the word Thailand. It comes from Thailand, and again, this particular outfit, this is a group that will certify their standards, again, are stricter than ours. By the way, the United States has standards. We have toy standards, we have arts and crafts standards, we have chemical standards. And they're not bad. It's just that if you are buying and you don't have these marks on it, it doesn't mean it's an evil item, a toxic item, a bad item. It just means you could go a step up if you had the opportunity. So this is the sheet that I'm going to refer to, and I want you to refer to answer the question that we started with. Because I don't like being left in the dark. I used to be an elementary science teacher, and I left kids in the dark a lot, but you will get your answers today. So back to my question, if you wanted to buy one of these two toys and you didn't care and the price was the same, the availability was the same, et cetera, one of them has gone through a stricter safety oversight than the other, how would you know? Second row, you're looking for the CE Red Lion or Thailand. And you are looking on the label for this. So 2 volunteers to read the labels. I'll just literally toss them to you. I'll have to toss it to you because you're so close. There you go. Okay. So again, they're looking on the label for that. I want to talk about made in China while they're looking, because I often get that. For a long time, items made in China seemed to correlate with items that were being recalled or were more toxic. That's not so much true anymore. And so I am less interested in where it's made than I am in who made it and what safety standards they are operating under. So these two people, as they're reading, I think, if I recall, are going to find that both of these toys were made in China. And yet one of them has the stricter safety oversight label. So it's not so much where it's bought. Is anyone here a dollar store shopper, or your schools are dollar store shoppers, or the parents of the kids in your are dollar? Okay, so the dollar stores had these are all toys I bought from the dollar stores. Yeah, there was a study, or not a study, an article, big thick article. Here it is, I printed it out. February 2015, a day late and $1 short, discount retailers are falling behind on safer chemicals. It was a slam on dollar stores and the toxic stuff in there. So I got thinking, it's very hard for me to tell parents and childcare providers to stay away from dollar stores because it's costly to buy stuff. So I went into my local dollar store, which was a little dollar store, I'll admit, and I walked up and down the shelves in the toy section, pulling every single toy, looking for these symbols. And here you go. These are all from the dollar store, and I'll pass them around. They all have these symbols. So my conclusion was, again, it's not so much the country it's coming from, or what store it's being sold in, although the dollar store seems to have more of that. It's what you're looking at on the label. So as I've been filibustering, what has been found on the lion and the tiger?
The CE symbol was on our tiger.
CE symbol was on the tiger. And the lion?
On the tag that's sewed in, not the one that you cut off.
Oh, good point. Well, let's come back to that.
There's no symbol on this one.
There's no symbol on the lion. Now,
Does he have a little sew-in tag like on his bottom? Nothing.
yeah, so it's not on the sew-in tag as well. And a really good point, meaning if you pull the tag off that had the symbol, sometimes it's on the pull-offable tag, then what are you going to do? So then you're having a used toy. This is when the toy is new, and you can look at the package and you can look at the symbol. Some of them are actually sewed on. The symbol is on the tag, which is sewed on to the toy, but not all of them. Really good question.
And this one says not recommended for children under 3 years of age.
And this one may also have that, because almost all the toys have an age recommendation. Did that one say?
On my glasses. Yes, it does say that.
Yeah.
For age 3 and up.
Okay, good. Let's do the arts and crafts question. What are you looking for arts and crafts? What does the sheet say to look for? Oh, thank you, AP. So AP is, it actually has there's some problems with the AP mark, but it's the best one we have out there now, so that's what we steer people to, and it's really easy to find. It used to be harder to find arts and crafts that had it. It's really easy to find. It's so easy to find that now I basically stay entirely away from anything that doesn't have the AP. And then I do these presentations at childcare conferences, and in the lobby they've got vendors, and so I stroll around the vendors and I pick up the toys and I pick up the arts and crafts, and it's like, interesting, no AP, oh, it's interesting. So I'm not saying this is a perfect world, but if you can. So 3 people to read, and I'll warn you that the font is like 1/2. It's tiny, we need young eyes. There's 1, there's 2. Someone at this table, read this one, it's got the biggest print. Okay. Yes, so arts and crafts and toys, and while they're doing that, could you look at the next 2 sheets, it might be just 1 sheet, the next 2 sheets that are on that side of your folder and pull them out. One will be on arts and crafts, and one will be on toys. So these are the 2 I'd like you to pull out.
Can I ask you a question? Like the lion has different materials.
Yes.
And they come from different distributors.
Yes.
And then they vary them together. So some will have a strict, that's probably why there's no, part of it might have that.
Part of it may, but it has to be the whole toy. Let me ask that for the whole group, because it's a good question. Yeah. So while people were looking and while those arts and crafts were being observed, a question came up which was, well, what about some of the pieces of this toy? Maybe they would have passed. That's true. But the whole toy would have had to go through the inspection to get the CE mark. And by the way, a toy, how do I say this? You can't sell a toy in the European Union unless it passes these standards. So all toys sold in Europe pass the standards. Okay, arts and crafts readers, what did you find? Because I don't remember the answer.
AP,
On,
the paint.
that traveled from that table over here. So hold it up high so they can see which one. That one has the AP on it? Okay. And what about the other two? Does not have anything. And where is the other one? It says what? Non-toxic?
Yeah, but it's in Spanish, I think.
It doesn't matter. Let's talk about the word non-toxic. There is no legal meaning to the word non-toxic. There is no legal meaning to the word safe. There is no legal meaning to the word green. There's no legal meaning to environmentally friendly. Good, I'm trying to think all the things I see on labels. Good for the family, healthy. Organic has some legal meaning behind it. There's a little bit for natural, but even that one, by and large, they're marketing words. There is no legal meaning to the word non-toxic, green, environmentally friendly, safe.
What about natural?
Again, I'm fuzzy on natural, but I'm not going to go big time on natural. Organic has some meaning to it. So when it says non-toxic, if they want to get sued because someone gets sick from it, that's their business. But I don't know how they can say non-toxic. There's no one can check that. There's no law behind that. There's no teeth. There's no oversight. It hasn't been tested. So I'm just telling you, those words that I grew up looking for, the one that kills me is safe.
Yeah.
Safe is meaningless. It's to get you to buy it. I like the doctor tested one. Like, did my neighbor who's a doctor test it? You know, I don't know. So, all right. Any questions on the arts and crafts that we looked at or the toys?
The one we have says non-toxic, but then it also says in fine print, conforms to ASTM
D.
number, what's on this state.
Okay. So that's what these two sheets are about. And we're not going to go into them in detail, but I want you to know what's in your packets. I go to trainings as a student, and they give me packets, and I never have time to look at them. So I want you to know what's in here before you walk out the door. These two packets give you more, these two pages give more information about arts and crafts, arts and crafts and toys. And you're right, this breaks it down by age and by that phrase. That phrase conforms to ASTMD 4236 just means it's meant to be used as an art supply. It doesn't mean what age should use it for an art supply. It just means, okay, for example, here's my favorite example of ASTMD 4236. Shaving cream will not have conforms to ASTMD 4236 because it was not meant to be an art supply. Okay, I used to teach school. I used to use shaving cream. How many people here have seen shaving cream used? It's fun, yeah. So I'm going to recommend that you stop using it. Why? I know, I get the pout look. I get it. So here are the reasons I'll give, and you might have your own stories. One, it usually has that nice smell, that nice shaving cream smell. Those smells, and I'm going to encourage people to stay away from fragrances in general, they are asthma triggers. They irritate the lungs, and if someone has asthma or the likelihood for asthma, it can trigger it off. The second thing is I have no idea what's in here. I have no idea. Well, actually it says water, stearic acid, triethanolamine, isobutane, sodium lauryl sulfate. You tell me if you know what these things are. Laureth 23, aloe, ooh, that sounds good. Lanolin, methylparaben, fragrance, and propane. This does not sound like an art supply to me. This is not something I want my children having on their hands. I want contact, possibly putting in their mouths, smearing on their face, which is what it's for. I mean, you just do finger paint with it, it's a blast. So I'm going to recommend against this. Anyone have any stories about shaving cream or fragrances or sensitization?
One year we had a fragrance one, we didn't know it was fragrance,
I'm going to stand next to you so you can pick this story up with my mic.
One year we had a fragrance
Speak loud.
shaving cream, and we had to open the windows and all the doors because all of us couldn't even breathe. It was so intense, and it was just a fragrant shaving cream. But you know the smell of the just
Here, put that in
no
your
scent
hand.
shaving cream. It smells intense. So a fragrant one, we put it all over the table. So then it was like, oh, the whole room smelled awful. So we had to open all the windows, doors, and clean off the table.
Thank you. Any other awful stories you want to share?
So I said, you just go home smelling like a guy.
She said you just go home smelling like a guy. Okay. That's pretty funny. That's very funny. It triggers you? Yeah. How many people have asthma in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyone chemically sensitive? 1, 2, 3, 4 5 chemically sensitive and 4 triggers for asthma.
So many kids too.
So this is again a reason to stay away from fragrances, and I'm telling you, fragrances are so personal. If you tell someone to stay away from they come in a parent or something and they've got this perfume just knock your socks off, you tell them to, or their laundry detergent. It's a very sensitive conversation because people, I don't know, I grew up with certain smells in my house, and those were clean smells. Lemon, scented, lemon pledge, mom loved it. So people have associations with smells. You go gentle.
Parents spray the kids' blankets
Parents spray the kids' blankets.
with their perfume so that they can smell them. And we had to stop it because our entire classroom reeked and kids couldn't breathe. Some of our kids who have asthma couldn't breathe.
Parents spray the kids' blankets with their
perfume, and then they sleep with it on top of them. Over their heads, they get in it like, oh.
because the parent wants their child to experience the adult's perfume?
I know. It's mommy's smell. You can sleep.
It's an association. I thought maybe they want to make sure they get their blanket back.
No, it's just it makes them feel comforted. So they tell me, but I told them they have to stop it.
Thank you. Let's do chemicals since we're on the, have we done these yet?
No.
Good, then we're going to do some practice. What row do you need to look at for chemicals? 3rd row, okay. So take out your long sheet that was folded in half. It said draft across it. That's the one, that one, yeah. Long sheet folded in half said draft across it. And the row that talks about chemicals is going to steer you to words, not to symbols. These words do mean something. Caution and warning, danger and poison actually are incorporated into legal regulations. They have a law behind them, as opposed to safe and green and environmentally friendly and non-toxic. Caution and warning on a product mean less hazardous. Danger and poison mean more hazardous. So over the years, I get all confused. So the simplest rule I've used for me is stay away from danger and poison when you can. Stay away from danger and poison when you can. And if it's in another language, I now know peligro is danger and poison in Spanish. Stay away from those products if you can. And sometimes you can't. Bleach, if you're using it and if it's being used for disinfecting in the childcare, is a danger product. Gasoline is a danger product. WD-40, do not take my WD-40 away, is a danger product. But reduce your use of them. Buy the smaller size. Know how to use it safely. So move away from danger, poison. 2 people to read these? Someone other than this table?
Can I ask a question while we read?
Yes, you may.
So this year we ran into a problem because it doesn't say on the label what chemicals not to mix them with. And so our sanitizer,
Oh, okay.
was getting mixed with bleach, but we didn't know at that moment. It was only for a couple days because then we realized it's literally poison fumes.
Okay, so the question is about mixing.
So
Wow.
I'm scared at home if I use my Clorox wipe and then I bleach, am I poisoning myself? So then I have to Google everything I'm using. Like, is it okay to mix these?
What a good question. The question is about mixing. You actually kicked off a reaction in the childcare by mixing 2 chemicals?
Our sanitizer cannot be used with bleach, but we bought bleach thinking it was a bleach center right at the beginning of the year, but it wasn't.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a different.
let's talk about it. Mixing.
No.
So How many of your sites are using bleach for sanitizing and disinfecting? How many are using something else for sanitizing and disinfecting?
Made by our center.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, see, it's not even district-wide.
It's okay. The gig is this. If you're sanitizing and disinfecting, you need to kill germs. That's what it means to sanitize and disinfecting. It's just at different levels of killing. If you're going to be killing something, you want to make sure the product you're using has been tested and does that job. I'm going to get to the mixing in just a minute. And if you look on your page, on your folded half sheet that says draft, down on the bleach row, it says you want to look for EPA registration number. Is that, I hope I'm on the right. EPA reg number. Well, whatever the number is, we just made up that number. But that means that the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has tested the product, has registered it as effective killing germs. It's on bleach bottles, and it better be on whatever product you're using that's not bleach in the other sites. And if it is, it's fine. It's working to kill the germs. Now we'll get to the mixing. So here's the bleach. Bleach has chlorine. Chlorine is a highly reactive product, means if you mix it with the wrong things, it makes a poison gas, which you guys unfortunately found out the hard way. The most common product it mixes with to create the poison gas is ammonia, or anything that has ammonia in it. Palmolive dish soap, some of them have ammonia in it. 409, I can't remember, some of them have ammonia in it. So it's not just straight ammonia. So what you guys did inadvertently is accidentally you took the chlorine that was in the bleach and whatever's in your cleaner, it's either ammonia or something else that chemically reacts. You can't stop a chemical reaction, and you made the poison. So you're right, don't ever mix your cleaner with bleach. And in general, don't mix stuff unless you absolutely, I'm gonna give you a little thank you gift on your way out the door today, and it's a safe cleaning kit. And I'll show you what's in it, and the stuff that's in there you can mix. But in general, don't mix stuff. I could regale you with stories, just like your story. Yes.
So if certain staff don't want to use chemicals at all, and they just use soap and water when they clean out their tables after mealtime, isn't that a huge discrepancy?
So the question is, what if certain staff don't want to use chemicals and they only want to clean like table surfaces with soap and water? Isn't that a huge discrepancy? To use a disinfectant requires a first step of cleaning. Because if you put the disinfectant, whether it's bleach or whatever you're using, on a surface and the surface is dirty, it can't get to the germs. So your staff, I mean, I don't know exactly the case, but it sounds like your staff is doing step one and they don't want to do step two. The step one is awesome. Everybody needs to be doing it. But if they want to kill germs, they have to do step two. And in a license, they have no choice. In a license center, you have to. Yeah, it's required. So for those of you who are in a bleach world, and that would include me at home, for if you use it at home, I want to tell you that not all bleach is created equally, which was shocking, actually, to me. I learned it last year. And what I mean by that, not all bleach disinfects. That was my comment. Wow. I went to Fred Meyer, and there's one near my house, and I was just looking at the bleach. You know how that rows and rows, lavender scented bleach and pine fragrance bleach and this blow. Then there's what's the gooey gluey no splash bleach, and there's all these, yeah. So there are bleaches that you can find that do not have an EPA registered number on it. Nor do they say the percent sodium hypochlorite, that's the chlorine. They've got to if it's going to kill. So what's the deal with a bleach that doesn't have that? It means it's a laundry whitener. Now the disinfectant ones, they'll work for the laundry too, but the other ones that don't have the EPA reg number, they will not work. And I've been stumbling into childcare providers who are in good conscience using, they bought their bleach, they're mixing it up, they know their solutions, they've got the right amount of water and the right amount of bleach. They're not doing nothing. So I'm here to tell you, look for ones that say EPA registration number. 3 years ago, I think, the bleach companies changed their bleach formulation. All bleach was kind of the same strength. And then some bright bleach person said, let's make it stronger, better, more concentrated. What that meant when they did that was, and you never use bleach straight, which I didn't know, but I do now. You mix it with water. So everybody used to know how much water, how much bleach. Now you start with stronger stuff. Well, so how much water do I need? And it became very, very confusing because on the same shelf now you can sometimes find 8.25% bleach, 6.5% bleach, and 0 EPA registration, no percent chlorine bleach. And they're different. One of them can't be used at all, and the other two take different amounts of water. So be aware that they will read the ratios that are on the bottle, and if you're in a licensed childcare, your licensor will have the sheet that tells you exactly how much water. And if you don't have it from them, you can go online at the Department of Health website, because I worked on that committee and it's posted there. It says if you're using 8.5, use this much. 6.5, use this much. If you have an ancient 5, use this much, and so forth. Bleach we could do all night, but that's it for bleach. Okay, we answered the toys, we answered the crafts, we answered the cleaners. Something is nibbling in my brain that didn't get answered. Oh, I know. Fragrance. I want to briefly go back to the fragrance. This goes back to words and what do the words mean, like what does safe mean and green mean. All right, so in my hand I have a photograph, blown up, of a hairspray, Aquanet. It came out of an artist's room for an adult art person, not a kid. And they were using this to fix, as a fixative for pastels so they don't smear. It's cheap and easy and it works. But my colleague was talking with the artist about fragrance, and they were noticing that this was a fragrance product. It says, or they thought it was a fragrance, and he was discussing what we discussed, how fragrances can trigger asthma and so forth. And the artist said, well, look, it says unscented. I'll pass this around, but I've circled the word unscented. And even on the back, it says unscented. So that was pretty good. And then together, they read the ingredients, which, by the way, they don't have to tell you. But they did. There's this long list, but I'm just going to read you the last ingredient. Masking fragrance.
But they said it was
So that's the point. They covered it up. So there was a fragrance, and then they put in another fragrance to cover up the first fragrance, and they balanced each other out, and now it's unscented. And what we learned from that, we're always learning, is you want to look for the phrase fragrance free as opposed to unscented. So this is the world of advertising that we live in. Pass that around as well. We're pretty good. Okay. I want to take some practice time and then some wrapping up time and then some evaluation time, and I think we'll get out on time if we do that. So the practice time is going to work like this. There are 3 stations around the room where I'm pointing over on the far interior wall. There are bags of cleaners, just like, where are those 2 cleaners? Yeah, those 2 cleaners that you read. By the way, did we find the answer to these?
You didn't go over it.
What's the answer? What did yours say?
This one says danger.
Danger, and what did this one say?
That one says caution.
So everybody point to the one that's the less hazardous. Yes, this is a, now I will point out that a gal in a workshop I once did at this point said, this has orange essence in it. She's allergic to orange. So she said, I can't use this. I don't care if it's the safer product. And I said, you're right. That means this isn't your product, period. You're going for a different company, a different whatever.
And it says under the caution, where it says caution, it says all that stuff we were talking about. Do not mix with bleach or ammonia or like,
To
there's
do
a whole bunch of warnings.
Yeah.
under the caution.
And the reason why ours didn't come that way is because those warnings are in our janitor closet way somewhere, and ours are just prepackaged little bottles. That's why we
It's
didn't-
true. It's true. You want to keep as much of the original label on the bottles or whatever that you're using whenever you can. So these two were originally in a bag, and they were over here. So when you come to this table, and there might be 3 things, pull out the objects, look and find the safer one. You can take your cheat sheet, so to speak, with you, and then put it back. And then do, I'd say 3, at least 3 here. Over in the far corner are arts and crafts. And over on that side of the room are toys. Open up your folded sheet. We're going to look at it one moment quicker, and then you're going to be on your own for a bit. There are 4 other categories, I think. It's got vacuums. What else is on there?
Vacuums, liquid hand soap.
Vacuums and liquid. Okay, so I put vacuums on here because I got asked about vacuums a lot. If a person were to have a choice, if I could give you a huge bag with 2 vacuums and you were to pull them out, which one and what label, you'd be looking for one with the word HEPA, H-E-P-A, high efficiency particles. So it sucks up the tinier particles. So HEPA, and that's whether it's a bagless or a bag. I prefer bagged vacuums, but they're getting really hard to find. The filters, in any case, you want a HEPA filter. And then for hand soaps, my preference is for ones that do not have antibacterials in them, which seems backwards, like don't you want to be killing the bacteria? And the reason is the antibacterial that they put in them, it's called triclosan and tricloban, we are now developing resistance to. We're using it everywhere, and so we're building up this resistance, which means it's not working. And it's giving people this false sense of security. And it's also in their hand sanitizers, which you got to clean first. So, and it gets into the water, and then it's polluting our water. So how do you know if a soap or a product has these in it? Look for that little drug fact box. If you see a drug fact box, it means that it's got something like an antibacterial in it, and just stay away from those. Have at it. Go loose. I will flick the lights or something when it's time to come back. 3 at each station, and bring your sheet with you, and then we'll come back. So you had a chance. You had a chance to take a look and see what it's like. And you can do this for your home as well as you're purchasing things. There's a couple other things in your packet. I just want you to know what they are, but we're not going to look at them carefully. This sheet is what I call the all-purpose sheet, kind of everything, a little bit of everything you might want to know for the home. And it's downloadable from our website, and I believe the web link is on there. It's in multiple languages if you want it for your parents, about probably 14 or 15 languages. Every site that you work in is considered a small business site. If you do make hazardous stuff, leftover stuff that you want to throw out, and it's hazardous, it can't go in the garbage, so this tells you where it can go, and there's no cost. This folded up is another all-purpose flyer, great for parents. Protect your kids. It's in English and Spanish, downloadable from our website and from the State Department of Health. This little bookmark, this little piggy went to market. This little bookmark is only good for King County, so I'm thrilled to be sharing it with you. It is an online map of public play spaces that don't use pesticides on their greenery or low levels of pesticides. You can check a park right next door where you're taking the kids, that kind of thing. And the last one has to do with food, particularly fish. Fish is really a good food for kids. Some fish, however, has high levels of mercury in it. This will tell you which fish has less and which fish has more. And that is your packet, other than my business card, which is on there so you can get a hold of me. And feel free at any point through Starla or through me directly. So here's what's going to happen in the remaining 5 or so minutes. First, just listen, because you're going to start to do something when I say this. In the middle, there are 2 things that you're going to be handing me, and you'll get in trade what I call the green cleaning kit. So the green cleaning kit, and they're in boxes right by the outside door, those brown boxes. They look like this. They're a bag. And in the bag are things that can be used for cleaning, like vinegar and baking soda and Bon-Ami and a very low no warnings. By the way, if it says no caution, no warning, no danger, no poison, it's the safest. So here are some things you can use for cleaning. You get a microfiber cloth. You get some gloves. All right, you can't use this in the child care if you're licensed, but I gave you a scrubby. Here's eye protector, little breathing protector. And not only are these for you, but these are ideas that you can use to share with parents and also to share with staff in the sites where you're working. This is the right size for mixing up a bleach solution. There's a little pencil in here, and there's a card. We also have these cards in probably 14 languages that say how to combine the things in here to make a floor cleaner, a drain cleaner, an oven cleaner, a tub cleaner, a sink cleaner, a window cleaner, a mirror cleaner, and toilet bowl cleaner. All with this. So this is for you, and the exchange would be 2 pieces of paper that I need from you. One is the little kind of half sheet that was right on top of your folder, yeah? And particularly, you'll fill it in as best you can, particularly down the bottom it says, would you like a site visit? Would you like one of us to come out? And then it says, do you plan to use what you learned? And then I plan to do the following as a result of taking this training. So the little half sheet I'll need, and then in the middle of your table, I see you've already scarfed them up. That's good. There's a really long page, and I need those as well. Bring them to the back, make a pile of each, take a kit, and you're home.